Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Whiskey with Ivy. Last week I didn't do a show because it was Deepavali, and many of you will know that I'm half Indian, so I celebrate half Deepavali. Moreover, my friends from Katong Convent flew in from Sydney, from Bali, from all over because they responded to my call to raise some funds to help our beautiful school because we love the school, we love our teachers, and we love our friends. So I took a week off work. This, to me, is the best news of the 2 weeks. The PAP have got a new lineup, and I think it's quite a nice lineup. There are 3 women there. 3 is good, but not really enough because 50% of this country is made up of women. But I'm sure they'll get there. On top of that, there are 2 half Indians and half Chinese. You know who I'm talking about, right? And I like half Indian and half Chinese because they're like me. We have no loyalty to India or China. Singapore is my country. So the more mixtures we have in government, in politics, is much better because then they will stop being racist. The Prime Minister also made some good comments. He said, this group of new people, the 4G leaders, must know people's concerns, give them hope, bring them together and lead well. He's finally getting it. You must get real feedback from the grassroots and really tackle the issues on the ground. The last thing he should have included was that all of them should lead honestly and with truthfulness. That is what is missing from his speech, I think. Finally, our Minister of Transport have found the answer. By 2030, we will have 8 MRT lines with 8 signalling systems, with 8 train supplies, with 8 for power, and so on and so on. Actually, I don't understand why they only discovered this now. Because the MRT system, I believe, started in 1988 or something like that, 30 over years ago. And was it cost? Was it efficiency? What created these 8 different systems? Or was it just corrupted brain power? Very often, ministers say things that irritate people. And this is an example of something that irritates me. Minister Chan Chun Sing has now added the word winners and losers. I'm sure many of you will recall, long time ago, when there was a reference to the word quitters and stayers during Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong's time. Then we have cosmopolitan and global citizen. So now we have another category, winners and losers. I'd like to understand who he is calling a loser. The word loser indicates that people didn't try hard enough. That's why they lost. So Minister Chan Chun Sing, don't call people winners or losers. Who your father is must have helped you along the way. For example, our Prime Minister, Lee Hsien Loong, I'm sure, being the son of Lee Kuan Yew, helped to open some doors and help him along the path to become Prime Minister. So don't call people winners and losers. I can't believe that after all this time, they are still asking the question, what's the best way to lift pay of low-wage workers? Please watch Coffee and Whiskey with Ivy, episode 5, where I already gave you the answer. Link all the ministers, MPs, and civil servants' salary to a minimum wage or your progressive wage. Give them all a pay increase because that will also benefit themselves. You know this guy who hit his child and caused the child's skull to crack and become damaged for the rest of his life. And we give him only 2 years jail, I think. I think we should catch him and castrate him so that he doesn't breed any more children whom he can destroy. Let's get serious about such people, eliminate such beasts from our country. This small article attracted me. Stanchart robbery suspect files extradition appeal. And I'm really disgusted that our law department have assured Britain that he will not be caned even if he were convicted of robbery, right? Why are we not caning him? Because his backside is white. Remember Michael Fay? We cane him. We should not have double standards on the color of your ass. Cane him. 7 in 10 inmates are drug offenders. I used to work with a gentleman, a drug addict, but serious drug addict, and he told me the reason why there's more and more young people going on drugs. He said, and this was 30 years ago, he told me what the government should do is to cane them, 3 strokes of the cane for the first offense, because kids are frightened of the cane, right? So if there's 100 kids thinking of experimenting with drugs and they know the moment they are caught, whatever age they are, they get 3 strokes of the cane, 50% will not try it. So much hype about the smoking problem daily in the newspapers, on the radio, etc. I have never seen a man who smokes 30 cigarettes go home and punch his wife. But these men all queuing up for drinking whiskey, a whole page in the Straits Times promoting alcohol. I think this is worse than smoking. So I hope our government will seriously look at drinking and how we should stop people from drinking rather than just stop people from smoking. Floods here, floods there, floods everywhere. We must really look at the storms we are experiencing nowadays. It's massive, it's frightening. And out at the farming area, Kranji, we have a lot of lightning. And a lot of kids come there because they love to visit the farms. But we do not have real protection for them from the lightning. Because first of all, farmers are not allowed to have a lot of buildings. And even if we have, they are not rich enough to put up that kind of lightning conductor which golf clubs have, which the Air Force have. So do look at these storms with a different eye. 5,000 Chanel bags at $750. What scares me is the fact that Singapore is the 3rd biggest source of counterfeit and pirated goods. And not only that, the Sunday Times went to Raffles City Mall, and there was this stall selling all kinds of branded products right under the noses of all the people in the city. Something must be wrong with our country if this can happen. And most of the customers are well-known business women. I'm not a businesswoman, I'm a farmer. I don't buy fake handbags. Neither do I buy expensive real ones, because farmers don't carry handbags. Interesting letter to the forum suggesting that we train all national service men to swim. In fact, we should train every Singaporean to swim. Singapore is a tiny island. How can our people not be able to swim? Another good suggestion of allowing national servicemen disruption for nursing students, I think is a very good idea. And in fact, we should move girls to do national service, and they should be trained as nurses and healthcare givers, because there is such a shortage of this very noble career which is not being recognized. We are bringing, as usual, cheaper, better and faster nurses from all over the world, but it's not really helping our country. ST journalists produce film on illegal wildlife trade. I salute you for bravery, and I think this is a very good thing that journalists can do, because you're blessed with being able to write good stories about illegal things happening. When I read this article, I thought it was a joke or a mistake, because they were trying to catch this security guard who allegedly molested a maid. But when I saw the article and it said there were 50 officers involved in this exercise, I couldn't believe it. I had to laugh. Why do you need 50 officers to be involved in a hunt in a condominium? What happens if we have more dangerous people than a molester, like a terrorist? Will we need 5,000 men to apprehend him? This opinion page by Tan Meng Hua is an excellent piece on the current situation our country is in. He says the 4G leaders must understand that the middle class is a group of people they have to really look after. And I totally agree with him. The 4G leaders must concentrate on, so that we have a broad base of people who have good jobs, who can look after their families and not have to always put their hand out to the government for a handout. Such a cute article, National Jealousy Day, Finland goes public with citizens' taxes. You can go to the income tax department in Finland on November the 1st and ask to see the income of anyone. I think we should also have a National Jealousy Day in Singapore sometime in March, so that we can all check on your income, my income, and everybody else's income. Thank you for watching another episode of Coffee and Whiskey with Ivy. Please remember to subscribe so that you can continue watching me in action. Cheers.